Cheers.
Cheers.
We're here.
Welcome. We are thriving. We are alive. This is the Biggest Fan podcast.
We were just talking about the movie Father of the Bride Part 2 because I'm very pregnant, and I just want everyone to know that Jake's comparison when I just said, "Oh, I'm like those, the mom and the daughter at the end when they're so hot, and the dad is wearing Steve Martin's wearing his parka outfit." And Jake was like, "Oh yeah, this morning when you're sweating at breakfast," and I was not.
Okay, it's because she.
I had some drops of water
We're
from
all
a sip
sitting
of
there,
water
but
that
everybody is completely chill. It's like that meme where it's like nobody, space blank, and then Rachel. Is everybody dying of heat in here? Is it so hot?
You cannot describe a meme. We just can't.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, but
because you always.
I'm a cold girly.
You run cold. Like you're freezing all the time.
Well, and I don't remember. This is the theme of this pregnancy is it's not like the others.
I will say it is hit different on every level. I mean, from this end of it. Like
yeah. Tread carefully, my
friend.
Hey, yes. Hey. It is though
beautiful. Perfect.
But I definitely don't remember being so hot. Now we are living in Arkansas. We were in LA before, so there's more of a humidity factor. But I'm definitely those girls now.
Yeah. And
I wasn't sweating at breakfast. It was water droplets from a sip of water. But I was also hot at the same time that
say that until the day she dies.
Anyway,
I saw that upper lip.
He might die later. This is a perfect segue into our little topic today, which we were going to talk about something else that we will talk about in the future. However, life events have led us to be like, this is the topic we need to discuss today.
It was very apropos, timely.
Yes.
And it's
dive in, Steve. What is it?
How do we balance all of this? Because I think that's the biggest thing. We are trying to hold two things at the same time, is that we both have this deep desire for a really simple life, and like this kind of almost mentality of like, yeah, we only have like 2 commitments a week, and we kind of have a routine, and like life isn't super unpredictable. And then the other part of us is we want to live a huge life where we travel all the time and our careers are taking us all over the place. And we're, kind of living our dreams, which is being people who are, successful in the entertainment industry. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. And living.
Like being somewhere too long makes us itch. I think there's a third element to this, which everyone can relate to right now, too. I feel like we touched on social media last time, but social media especially introduces this element of you're aware of everything going on all at once across the country, across the world. And it becomes this third weight of like, okay, where do I involve my efforts? Where do I put my time, my money, my attention? And that can add to this kind of inner conflict of like, the pull between I'm never doing enough at home. I'm never doing enough at work. I'm never doing enough in the world. It's such a constant struggle for everyone in this current day. Whether or not you're like our personality and you want to have this certain kind of work life and family life, I think everyone can relate to the pull of like, how do I remain a healthy person while caring about other people and having passions? I mean, because we were truly as humans created. I mean, have you heard this thing? I butcher things left and right lately. But let's try this.
Thus quotes Rachel Scott.
Still weird. That's my last name.
I actually thought about that yesterday. Yeah. I was like, is this weird for you?
My maiden name is Kirkendall, Rachel Kirkendall. But I've been Rachel Scott for nearly 10 years.
You have, and it's like this weird thing.
It feels like a little Superman, like I'm Clark Kent. You know what I mean?
Because this is your alter ego?
Yeah.
But what's weird to me is it's like, it makes me feel this sense of, this is going to be corny, this like sense of love.
Aww.
Of like, oh wow, you loved me enough to change your name. Like that's still bizarre to me.
Like
it doesn't feel real. And then I look at your name like on legal documents. I'm like, oh,
it's weird to me when I say our kids' names because I'm like, oh, we all have this name. Anyway, we'll do another podcast.
Huge sidebar. What were we talking about?
We were talking. This thing quote, that I'm going to halfway butcher, but the spirit of it will be correct.
All credit goes to you. Let's go.
Okay. That our, caveman DNA was meant to live where you only knew what was going on in the village around you. And, so your neighbors and the people very close to you and obviously your family. So not only were you only aware of the issues and the lives of those people very close to you, you were also all living as a village and helping each other raise kids, helping each other go and shoot the buffalo down the road and then bring it home. It was this village mentality. And we can't seem to get the village out of us because I think that we still are all meant to live a lot more simply than we live. And in terms of being a healthy people, but it's not an option these days because for better or for worse, our social circles are much larger. Our awareness of the world at large is also obviously much more
global. It's
global,
you have access to
which
the whole world.
like I can see the good. It's just so complicated. And so our daily, I think you and I in particular in this it's a squeeze time of life where everything is on the table. And really when I say that, I mean our issues are on the table where it's like we have maxed out our nervous systems to the point where we're just like, okay, if we do want to live X kind of life, the kind of life that we desire and also be people who take amazing care of our family and love other people and all these things, then we have to find a way to live like the cavemen nervous system wise, but then have the capacity for the type of life that we desire.
That's good. Wow. Yeah. It's like your internal world is as if you're living a really, simple, not small life, but simple life.
Simple feels good.
Attainable, peaceful, but then you have the inner capacity for a lot of chaos, a lot of responsibilities, because if you want to live a big life, it requires a lot of
I think, dare I say, we're all meant to live big lives.
Yeah,
whatever that means to you.
Yeah,
we are all meant for our version of something that has impact, whether it's however that looks. And so I think you and I in this time have been challenged with knowing that we want to have impact, seeing where we haven't, and being like, all right, how do we bridge that gap? And now we see what's in the way. And oftentimes it's our own nervous systems. I think what also and capacity, and what comes into play for that is your capacity is going to be different than mine, than hers, than his. Because for me, what it would look like to have a calm nervous system while also living, the big life, is stopping caring what people think. Because if that would take off so much load, there's these inner traumas that play into this too. Like what is causing your nervous, even if I have a simple day, I can still have a maxed nervous system because of trauma and wounds and things that you don't even deal with. They're subconscious. Yet you and I have done some therapy, so we know that's also on the table. It's this huge interplay.
Yeah.
And I just think back in caveman days, like, of course they had wounds, but can you imagine like Joe the caveman having time in his day to be like, oh, David hurt me.
Well, yeah, it's like Joe the caveman is just trying not to get eaten by the dinosaur.
Yes,
so
and
he's like, you know
I
what?
think like we gotta borrow.
Me and Dave could figure this out later. I gotta stay alive right now.
Well, and also like I forgive Dave. Let go of the little things. Like if Dave killed my wife, okay, Dave and I are gonna deal with that. But if
Dave's going down.
But if Dave just hurt my feelings,
yes.
But I also
we have way too much time to think.
However, I want to have an asterisk here because you can go way the other way of like feelings don't matter, and that will also kill you. So
it will. And
also we have to be like we live in this time. So there's just
true. But I do think, not to cut you off, but I think
cut me off, Dave.
I think like exactly what you're saying is with the introduction and the reality that we live in of like we're constantly bombarded with exposure to everything, and it makes our world kind of impossibly massive. You can't hold it all.
Yes, you can't.
I think that's why social media is such a gauntlet for my we've said nervous system a lot, but I will say for just like my peace of mind. People say mental health. That's fine if that's your word. Mine is peace of mind.
Choose your word. You also, Jake, we try to say deals with ADHD tendencies.
I do. I have some serious
so
ADHD
there can
tendencies.
that's another struggle for poor Jake. Go ahead.
Oh yes.
Do you think the caveman had ADHD? I'm serious. Go ahead.
Well, I would have been the guy that would sit down.
No, because like if he missed the tiger, he was going to kill.
Well, yeah, but I was the guy that they were like, you know what? We should send Jake out to the front line of the tiger. He's an absolute basket case.
No, they'd be like, Jake's gonna get distracted by a butterfly, and the tiger's gonna kill him, kill the village. We don't have.
Yeah, I would be the bait. Okay, so anyway, what
Kidding.
I'm saying is, I think it takes so much intentionality to have this kind of simple mindset. Because did I say that wrong?
Just so much intention, right?
It takes a lot of intentionality.
Put in the show notes, intention versus intentionality.
That's the title. I am going to stand on intentionality right now.
Okay, go ahead. Intentionality.
So it takes a lot of intentionality in what you allow yourself to feed on.
Yes,
because if you allow this fire hydrant of information and other people in comparison and other people's lives, your simple mindset just gets completely exploded. Yep. And now you're thinking, oh, well, I'm not doing that and I'm not doing this. And I wish it's not even like a self-hatred thing. It's just like, oh, that looks awesome. They took a trip to Japan to go skiing. Let's go. And I want to go this and I want to try this and I want to do that and I want to do blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it so takes you out of, okay, today I've got 3 tasks that I really need to do. And then I want to spend time with my wife and kids. And like, that should be totally enough.
I think it's in Chinese, not medicine, but in that Chinese philosophy, they say 3 things a day. It's like, that should be your to-do list.
Confucius. I literally, like, I've been so militantly trying lately because I am particularly sensitive to social media. I am a sensitive boy to social media. I can have an amazing week and then it gets ruined by 30 seconds on social media.
Well, and
30 seconds. I'm talking like a glance. And I look at my algorithm and I'm seeing 5 other people who are doing things that I wish I was doing in that time. Most of this is career related stuff. It's like, I'm like, oh, well, that dude sold out that arena and this person got a #1 song with this person and that person's just better than me at everything. So like I will literally, and I'm done. I'm taken down for like days.
Yeah.
So for the last few months, I've been really, 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 really trying to just be off, to stay off completely. I know that I have to be on it for my job and that's a reality, but you
needed a bit of a detox before you re-enter though, you know?
But I don't even know what re-entry looks like for me right now because I am so in this place where I am hell-bent on creating a lifestyle internally that feels like that 3 tasks a day.
Yeah.
You know, caveman Dave.
And it's like, there's this guy I follow who talks about how people are really hard on themselves for being unable to stop eating things like potato chips or dessert. They're like, why don't I have more discipline, self-control? But they're actually hyper palatable foods and our mouths were not created to be able, it's like a drug almost. And so they're hyper palatable. You want to keep going and going. The brain tells you to. In the same way, that's how social media is. It's hyper palatable to our dopamine system. And so every human can relate to this push and pull of it. And most people have or need to be on it in one way or another. And so that's where boundaries are very important. But I think in particular for you, but also, I mean, hello, I completely relate, which means everyone can relate. This is
I know. I'm not like, this isn't original to me.
No, I know. But I do think I think that it's particularly hard for you. And for me too, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, we both get wiped out. It's just
and it's a coping mechanism, right? So this isn't even, this is like, okay, so and that happens in the middle. When I get on my phone and find myself scrolling is when I've already maxed out somewhere else. I'm either feeling like, oh my gosh, I messed up as a mom, or I'm stressed with whatever, fill in the blank, and then I turn to it to cope. And so it's all connected, and it's all it's not about deleting stress from your life. It's about learning how to handle stress in your life, because stress is actually a healthy thing for the brain and the body in doses that can be handled. And if you give your body the chance to come down from it, but none of us do. We live in fight or flight constantly, which is really funny. Going back to the caveman, when you think about the fact that
Dave,
they actually had real life danger, and not that many, many people currently do. In our Western world, we aren't being chased by tigers. And so but we still live in more fight or flight than those people did who actually had crazy, crazy stuff.
Interesting. And I think it's weird that you say that, because it's like, I'm going to make myself sound like such a meathead here, but bring a workout analogy into this whole thing.
His dream come true.
The whole stress and recovery.
That's it. That's the thing.
The whole point about working out is you put your body under stress and then you give your body time to recover. You come back stronger. But you have to recover in order to come back stronger.
Yes.
And we don't ever give ourselves the moment to do that because it's like, oh, I have a spare 30 seconds. Let me just destroy my brain by this social media and then hop back into now my kids are screaming at me and crying. And I think I'm supposed to come in and be like, hey kids, what's going on? Rather, I'm like, stop what you're doing right now.
Yes. And we take it out on them.
I know.
We're like, how dare you interrupt my scrolling with your actual human needs as a 2-year-old whose brain isn't developed.
Oh man.
And they're the problem, not us. Like, let me get back to whatever article I'm reading.
It's also so humbling every time I get caught on my phone by one of our kids. They look at me and they're just kind of like, what are you doing? Like, why is this so important right now?
It's true.
And then it makes me be like, oh my gosh, this YouTube clip about, the dumbest thing of all time that I do not care about.
Well, that's where I think in particular, it can be a black hole for you where you lose the outside world at phone.
Say more.
Well, I think, and that could just be your, traditionally. I also, before I say this, want to acknowledge that you and I are halfway touching on a lot of really complex subjects, so we know nothing. Just want to say that again. We are throwing out all sorts of things here.
The whole premise of this podcast is we're experts on nothing.
But we know a little bit about a lot of stuff. So we could be wrong about all this.
Scattershot,
but here's these little thoughts about these subjects. Obviously, women's, waffles and spaghetti. So your men's brains are waffles. Women's are spaghetti.
Yeah, this is also an ADHD thing that I want to talk about. So
you're a man with ADHD. So you when you get in the phone, you will lose the outside world. Whereas when I'm on it, I can be like, oh, I got to put it down because our goal is to never be on our phone around our kids, failing constantly, but really trying to do that.
One quote. Can I add a quote here?
Add a quote. Butcher it.
So
Go for it.
Our therapist started out teaching me a lot more about ADHD as an adult. Mm-hmm. Because I kind of always laughed off ADHD. And I was like, oh, yeah, I can't focus in math class. But I got diagnosed when I was 5, so who cares? And then he was like, hey, I think it's just like super negatively affecting your adult life. Like, I think this is really hard on your marriage. I think it's hard on your career. I think it's hard on everything. And I was like, what are you doing to me right now? And he was telling me that like an ADHD person's brain, there's 2 modes. You have now and then not now. And whatever exists in what you're looking at and what you're focused on right now is the only thing that exists on the planet. And anything else, any other reality doesn't exist. It's not like I don't care about it. It's not that I'm just selfish and I'm indulging in this one thing and I'm choosing that at the neglect of this other thing. It's that thing does not exist in my mind right now.
Did you figure out a way to use that for your good?
Well, yeah, like, I'm learning that, but also that's caused a ton of conflict for us because you're like, how are you not thinking about the fact that I need your help right now? And I'm like, I saw this YouTube clip about the difference of Nike running shoes, and that's all I could think about. For sure, like, that was all that existed for that.
It was the first time I experienced where, because I don't like boxes, labels, none of that, and I know many people are that way, because that's another day. Yes. Hearing him say that was very freeing for me because your brain does work so differently than mine. And it was like, okay, he isn't just, the lies my brain would tell myself is like, he just doesn't care. He's not thinking about you when you forget to do whatever.
He's like aware that you're in the background and he's just choosing not to focus on it. But for me, it really is genuinely, it's not letting me off the hook.
No, you have to learn how to be a mature human.
It's like, hey, other people exist and you have to care about them. You have to prioritize this. But for me,
you're such a caring husband, but it's that you get in the black hole rabbit hole.
And
not now.
Yes, and like incredibly important things, like you and our kids, or like super important responsibilities just disappear. It's not that I'm neglecting it on purpose or I'm just being like lazy or irresponsible. It's just I see something. Or even I'll get focused on work, or I'll start writing a song, and I'll get sucked down this rabbit hole, and the rest of the world ceases to exist.
Well, and that's what I mean.
And I think that like you said, I can hone that for good.
Yeah, when I see you focused on making music, or when our kids are there, it's a beautiful thing. Or when I'm there, which sometimes when I'm there, it's too much. I'm like, dude, back up. Like, I'm fine. You don't need to hand me my water.
She's obsessed with me, I promise.
No, listen, you know what I'm saying. It can become codependency. And how all this to say, that's an added element that you have to deal with in terms of, okay, I want to learn to, in order to live the life I want to live, I have to simplify and have a calm nervous system again. Yet your brain can kind of work against you in that, because I think now you know so much that whenever you do get caught in the black hole, you're like, "Wah!" Panic, and you feel like you have to like quickly, you're shot into fight or flight. Like, oh my gosh, I messed up. I got to get out of this.
Yeah, but it's so. I genuinely envy your brain a lot, because
Really?
you can balance 100 things at once. It blows.
See, that's where I think that's women. I'm like,
yeah, but I think you have a particular superpower of being able to like, I'll come to you and something that you halfway mentioned last Wednesday night. It's like, oh, here I've done 6 things about that. There's an appointment here. There's an
do you
appointment
not realize
there.
that's a stress response for me though?
Really?
Oh, it can of course it is. It's
like a control thing.
No, not really control, but I actually, in my most natural state, can, if I don't do that, I will forget all of it too. Like, I'm more like you, where if I don't write it down and do the work, not everything, but a lot of things. And so because I have this fear of that, it's like, you got to write it down. You got to do the research. You got to do these things actually. And now that I'm saying this out loud, you're right. I think it becomes, this is an area I can control and I can get done. And when the rest of my life feels chaotic, at least I can do these tangible things. So that's stress. I mean, this is why. That's
also, though, like you're saying, you can kind of harness that for
absolutely.
good.
All
and
of this.
It sounds like you're doing it in a healthy way.
Does it? What I just said?
I mean, no, but I see it manifest itself in a healthy way, at least in our family's life, of like, you are definitely the one who keeps everything on the rails as far as, okay, the kids got to go to the doctor. They need a haircut. You and I have to stay on top of this, quote unquote menial task that isn't, fun or exciting, but you help.
Yeah, those things, you're right. And the thing is, none of this is black and white. So in the very same moment, I could be harnessing it for my good and because it doesn't overwhelm me the way it overwhelms you. You like to call a doctor's office, you're like,
I can't tell
I got to schedule that out for 2 weeks from now and get a good 10 night hours.
I don't know why it causes me such
because your brain,
stress.
The way your brain is. ADHD, right? Or
this is why AI, I'm like, I need to lean into some bots.
We got to, actually, yeah, probably. But that's
another podcast.
We say that we got about 10. We need to make a list of our ongoing ideas of podcasts. But yeah, I think in the same moment, I can be doing it from a place of just like, hey, this is easy for me. It's responsibility. And then go into 2 seconds later, obsessiveness with it. And okay, I need to make a list.
True.
This is why I think the base of what you and I are learning and wanted to talk about today is like, none of the circumstances in your life, obviously I'm talking people who live, it's like the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We have a lot of those needs met. So the people who are so lucky and blessed to not have crazy things happening in their life,
yes,
like that just has to be said.
World problems.
Yes. But as you're wanting to build and live a good life and you have kids watching you live, it is less about the circumstances and it is so much about your internal. It is all about your internal world, because when you get that world right, the things that aren't important fall away. The things that aren't important rise to the surface. And in life, I think if you're to focus on, the fixing of the circumstances, it becomes that gopher game that I always say. Whack-a-mole. Instead of
the gopher game.
Whatever. Aren't they? Oh, they're moles.
Freaking gophers.
Okay,
I'm
so
out
moles.
here getting some gophers.
I live in Arkansas now,
I don't think gophers live in Arkansas. Am I right?
Gophers for sure live in all
Fact check
50
me on
states.
here in the comments.
Add that to intentionality.
Did I just say in the comments, or am I a YouTuber now?
You're a YouTuber.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so
that's bad.
You have to get to the root of the internal stuff.
Yeah, or it is like just like
you're just
to go back to the gophers. It's just going to show up somewhere if you don't cut it off at its source, or if you don't address the source. It's just going to manifest in your life somewhere.
I think this is a good moment to say, okay, so what made us want to talk about this today is we're very close to baby coming, and obviously that's a huge thing, and there's a lot to do in preparation for labor and a baby coming into your life. And so
just logistically, like, we need a bigger car.
Yeah, just logistics, and then also for me, physical preparation, all of that stuff. So those are things that we cannot take off our plate. in this very same time when we're within striking distance of our due date, my due date, our children who have slept amazing for a long time have said it's time to party.
Just in the last 2 weeks.
In the last 2 weeks to a month, they are both up. I dealt with insomnia this pregnancy, and so we're dealing with, we're trying all the things to get their sleep in order, but you just can't control kids' sleep. This is a tale as old as time, and so we are exhausted. I mean, I am not sleeping, and that's something that's like, okay, this is also a circumstance in our life that we can't control this. This is not going anywhere. And so at the same time, Jake is working on a new album that is really important, obviously, to him, to us. We're doing this podcast. We have these things, and there's not much, we're not going to be like, well, Ruby, next time you don't sleep through the night, it's out to the streets for you, girly. Like, there are not solutions for this in terms of removing these things from our life. And so yet we're seeing the worst of ourselves come out because of these circumstances, because of the stress that they induce. And we sat down this morning at like 5 a.m. when we're both, up because whoever's in our bed. And we're like, this is an us thing. This is also, God ushers these seasons into your life where the victim would be like, everything's happening to me, blah, 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 blah. And luckily we have done enough therapy to move. We're not in that place, but we're in the place of like, okay, these are beautiful blessings to have. Having our children, having a baby on the way, getting to buy a car. Like, these things are just wonderful. And so how do we handle them while also taking care of ourselves and not just spazzing out every day and throwing tantrums, and then we get mad at our kids for throwing tantrums, and we're over here throwing tantrums.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, everything I just said?
100%. And I think that's why we wanted to talk about, like, not even what are we doing well to find balance in our life, but almost kind of like, let's get on this podcast and just talk about, like, how do we balance our life right now?
Yeah. Oh, it's not what we're doing well. It's like, hey, this is a problem, and so we're learning how to do this.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Like you said, we're getting squeezed right now. And it is so apropos that we chose to start this podcast really like right in the eye of the storm of one of the most intense seasons of our life. Just as far as like a growing season or kind of like just a squeeze. We're being squeezed right now.
We're being squeezed, and even thinking about where our older two are at developmentally, they're in, we're exiting with them. Okay, just keep them fed and alive, and it's all just normal.
Proper parenting.
We're parenting, and so that is the most important thing we're doing, and we're trying to figure out how to do that in a really excellent way, and we're trying to figure out, how to be humans, good humans who, it's just a lot of things all at once. And I think another element to this that you and I tend to do is, I think we can be surrounded by people who we see like comparing ourselves. Well, everyone's dealing with the same stuff as us, and they're all doing fine, and they're all going out and living their lives. And why can't we do that? They
don't seem chronically stressed.
Right. And so, one, who knows what's going on behind closed doors? And two, comparing yourself, like, maybe that works for them. It doesn't work for us. And so we have to, there are times in your life to just stop. In fact, probably all the time, you should not look outward to decide how to live.
100%. And like, I know for myself, like, just in this squeeze, like seeing how much, I know we've said this 100 times. I'm kind of annoyed to hear myself say it again, but like living with a nervous system that is so maxed out right now and kind of redlining all the time. I feel like I'm not doing anything in my life well. I'm not bringing you my best. I'm not bringing our kids are my best. I'm not bringing my work my best because I feel like I've got a million things to do and they're all getting
Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah, I'm stretched thin. She's talking about this cool.
We just watched Lord of the
Rings where this is hilarious because it used to be her, but now it's me. He says it's like he feels like butter that's spread across too much
just
bread.
Act it out. You're really good at voices. Please. Please do it. Please do it.
No, I'm not gonna do it.
Please do it. We can cut it if you hate it.
No, we're going to do it.
Do it right now.
I don't even remember.
Butter. Oh, but too much.
Stretched across too much bread.
See, okay, he could do way better than that. And
No.
I'll get it. I'll add it.
100%
That'll be in the comments.
Comments, I'll be in there. Look for a weird username. But I think like I don't want to live like this. I don't want to live where I'm only giving 60% of myself or 60% of my capacity to everything.
No, and it's not how we're designed to live, because obviously we should be present, which is a huge catchphrase now too, but it's true. And I think we got to the point, this is not just this morning, this has been an ongoing conversation, but this morning we had it again of like, okay, the circumstances aren't the problem here. We're the problem. So what do we do in order to show up differently here so that we have different results? And I mean, the kids are the easiest place for me to look at that, because like they are the area that I'm just like, well, no question, you deserve, we're giving you, all of us, no question, you're not going to be the problem. If there's, we subscribe to, I mean, talking about nervous system again, geez, but if they're freaking out, they need us to be calm, because they don't have, their brains aren't online. They need us. We are the calm in the house. We're the thermostat in the house. Yet. Exactly. And so we have to bring them calmness so that they can find calm when they're understandably not able to find it themselves. They're not meant to be able to find it themselves. It's up to us. So you know what? Okay. I don't know if this is woo woo or not, but I feel like in my years of doing therapy and just different things I've learned, oftentimes you hear about the body keeps the score, or just like, oh, place your hand on your heart and all these things. And up until this time, anytime, anyone would say to me, like, can you just like, how does your body feel? Why don't you give yourself a little pat? Like, I was like, okay, this is so nice. And I realized actually last night, something that happened, which I'll share in a second, really impacted me, because I think the reason I resisted that is because when you're in fight or flight, I don't have time for gentle touch. Okay. I'm about to die. And the tiger's behind me, the perpetual tiger's behind me. And so those things about slowing down and taking care, like listening to your body, feel really dumb. And yet last night, Shepherd was going to bed. Our kids were going to bed. They're sharing a room right now, which is a fun little experiment.
It's been a wild,
but they're loving
wild
it.
Ride.
And he was in his bed and he was having a really hard time falling asleep. And I was sitting on the floor next to him, and nothing, the more that I said, the worse that it got. And so at a certain point, I just reached my hand through the bars of his crib and just held his hand, and he immediately calmed and fell asleep.
I can attest to this. I was laying on the ground singing mindlessly some weird lullaby that they've convinced me to sing.
You know what? It's probably the best part of how we're living right now is that lullaby.
It's a trance. Anyway, go ahead.
So I held his hand, and just that touch just immediately calmed him. And I'm like, okay. I think that is part of the key to healing this eternal stress that we all live under, is the stuff that sounded so lame, or not lame, but just like, that's not going to do anything, is just reminding your body you're safe. Because again, actually the point I just made, when you're running from a tiger, there is no time for just taking a breath or touch. And so when you do that with your body, it's like, okay, you're safe. You wouldn't be touching me like this if there were a tiger behind you. And so it helps you calm down. And I truly think that kind of inner calm, and that's obviously, I mean, for you and I, God is the center of that, right? That's what we believe, that like God is God. That's how God designed our bodies too. So he designed this, he's behind this design. And in that place though, he meets you there. Anyway, so I do think that's been helping me lately. Does that all? I've never said that out loud.
100% makes sense, and it actually it just brings you back into reality of like, okay, yes, I'm stressed. Yes, my body thinks there's a tiger behind me, but really, there's no tiger. Everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, and it kind of helps all the unimportant stuff fall away.
Yes.
I was just listening to this video prepping for labor, and she talked about how I think it's 10 or 30, one of those numbers, seconds of a hugs just releases endorphins automatically in you.
Yeah.
And that is literally the happy, calming hormone.
Oxytocin
or endorphins, just the good ones.
The good stuff.
So all of this it's simple. It's just simple solutions that I feel like you and I haven't done because we just bulldoze through the world and through our problems and our stress instead of
Yeah.
slowing down in the midst of it and doing what we can to simply take care of ourselves. And then usually the problems kind of fall away because it's like, oh, that's not really a big deal.
Well, I think kind of what I'm thinking about as you're talking and sort of circling back to what you said at almost the very beginning, I think what I see myself doing a lot with my life, with anything, with you, with the kids, with my work, it's like I have a list of problems to be solved.
Yeah, to conquer.
And then once I can just plow through solving these problems, then I can sit down and do what I want to do, which I don't want to live that way. I don't want to treat you that way. I don't want to treat our kids that way, especially because like you and I can connect and have a conversation and really talk. But with our kids, it's like,
that's why they're the North Star.
Yeah.
Of where you're at.
I constantly am finding myself being like, oh, I just need to put this fire out so then I can get back to doing what I want to do. And I realize, we're 4 years into parenting. I'm certainly not writing any books, but I'm realizing that the mistake I make over and over and over again that just builds irritability, stress, anxiety in me constantly is not just embracing whatever the moment is giving me. So it's like, yeah, okay. One of them peed all over the floor. Okay, that's fine. Like, not that big of a deal. I'm not going to get mad and be like, could you try clean the floor up? Come on, could you try to...
You don't get mad like that, though. You internalize it, right? So that's where I think
Yeah.
those things will happen. You're not going to get mad at them. You're going to just internalize.
Well, because the internal conversation I'm having is, gosh, this is keeping me from being able to do what I want to do. I want to sit down and eat these beautiful scrambled eggs that I just slaved over, but I got to go pick up dry pee off the bathroom floor for no reason. And then I hear myself and I'm like, wow, okay, this is a very immature part of myself that feels like a victim, like we're talking about. I think for me, being able to step back and observe that voice, not shove it down, but let it speak, let it say its thing. And then you can kind of almost laugh at it and be kind of like, you heard yourself, right? I'm like, yeah, I heard that. Okay,
that's another,
cool.
I
Now
think
let's get
that's
back
like
to it.
a huge component in this calming is what you're saying. It's being able to, because that's slowing down. You're not just letting that voice run your day. You're stepping back from it and observing it so that it doesn't control you.
Yeah. And I mean, we even had like kind of part of piggybacking off of that, the conversation we had at 5:00 this morning. Like I've been thinking about that since we had it. And like so much of my growth right now is learning how to really show up for the people in my life purely out of love and care for the people in my life. I got it for you and the kids and friends in my life, not so that you'll pat me on the back and be like, you're such a good husband, but because like I so genuinely love and care about you, and I so genuinely love and care about our kids that I'm willing to do the thing that is sacrificial to me out of a place that is genuine and loving and caring, and not that is ultimately self-focused of like, oh yeah, I want my kids to think I'm a great dad, or I want you to think I'm a great husband, or I want to have that reputation of being this or that. It's more of like, oh, you know what? I love you so much. I'm going to do this thing that is sacrificial, whatever, is in service to you or them, not because I need the reward at the end of the pat on the back at the end. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
Just realizing
totally.
that's such a driver for me. Then that's something that I feel like God is showing me that I need to grow in, is taking my perspective off of myself as the ultimate driver for everything I do.
And I think hearing you talk, I hadn't thought this when we talked about it this morning, but I'm realizing or wondering, because I don't know this, because what Jake is kind of referencing, we learned in therapy too, which is parts work, inner something family systems, where there's an adult inside of us, there's the real self inside us, and then there's all these different parts that are different ages.
That's it. Internal family systems.
So I'm realizing, because usually our motivation, it could be fueled by several different parts of us. So for Jake, doing whatever kind thing as a dad or husband is fueled by his love for his family. It's also fueled by this part of him that wants to be seen as a good dad or good husband, that wants that pat on the back. And the big important thing is not labeling that voice as bad, because that's just a stuck part of him that could be 15 years old. But I'm wondering now that we're in this conversation talking about parts work plus fight or flight. I'm like, that part of you is in fight or flight.
Mhm.
And so that's why I think it's so, adult you might be calm and like, oh, I'm doing this because I love my family. But when that fight or flight 15-year-old is activated inside of you, all of a sudden your nervous system is fully flooded by that part, because for him, fight or flight is, I'm going to die if I'm not seen as good. I'm going to die if I'm not seen. That's how I'm surviving is someone saying, hey, you're a great person.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's so important to not shame that part of you, because again, don't put it in the driver's seat, but it needs to be integrated. It needs security and love, and then it can calm. And then that's also part of calming it.
Yeah.
But if adult Jake sees that part and is like, you're such a bad guy for even having the desire to be seen as good.
I mean, look, I hear what you're saying.
I can hear. I don't agree though. So
no,
give
what
it to me,
I'm
dog.
saying is that the dark underbelly is darker than yes, there is. I need to not beat myself into
my point is though, no matter
submission.
no matter how dark that part gets, even if it's like, I don't care about them really, I just want the recognition. Labeling it as bad and dark still doesn't serve you.
That's
because it's still a part of you
that's trying to survive.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I have those parts of me that when I look at what is motivating them, I'm like, oh, that is awful. But that's not who I am. That's a part of me. And shaming it is only going to push it further into that dark place.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't really matter the motivation. It matters more about how you handle it. And also, again, it takes me back to part of why our nervous systems are so flooded is there's these other parts that are just constantly, some are in fight or flight, some aren't, and they can really pop up out of nowhere and boom, you're in fight or flight.
That's true. And actually, IFS is internal family systems. You can learn a lot about it on YouTube. Has really helped us.
Sorry, YouTube, Jake.
Man, I have a YouTuber today. Catch us on YouTube.
Oh my
Subscribe.
gosh, it has helped us so
immensely. Helped us so much because you kind of almost get some tools to therapize yourself in a moment of being like, okay, whoa, hold up. Which part of me is screaming right now? And
it's that you're taking that step back. Yeah. Like you said, you're observing versus letting it.
That's helped me a ton in those moments of victim, because I have that voice super loud, and I'll just have a moment where I will internally say let the kicking and screaming happen. And I'm now at a point where, and I'm certainly still not writing any books, but I'm now at a point where I can kind of hear it and go, whoa.
I can vouch for you. You've really.
That was a lot. And also, you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Okay.
Jake has victim. I have fight to the death, like protect to the death. When I'm sure, yes, who's like, oh, if something happens to me, Jake might go victim, and I'm going to go protect yourself and your family. Yeah. Okay, I wonder something, because I was thinking about how God created all these different, he's provided all these avenues for us to develop as humans, and back to our little caveman Dave. Do you think
Dirty Dave?
Because certainly they are psychologically the same as us, in the same way that we have them. We have the same psychology as they did a million years ago. But is it the Maslow's hierarchy of needs that they didn't have the luxury of
being able to think like this?
Right, because they're just like, listen, I've got to get dinner on the table, and that's not a given. I mean, so I think that because they certainly had, it's not like they lived without trauma or lived without issues, but I don't think that they're
or lived without people hurting your feelings. That's definitely still happened, but I think about that a lot, actually, but
they didn't have time for it.
And I think that there is a blessing and a curse to that on either side. I think that if our society had some more pressing, this is life or death, we would probably not have some of the.
Well, our society, there's people who have that. We just in our,
Totally. You're right.
I hear what you're saying though. Most people are not being. Yes. No one is living like cavemen.
Right. Not necessarily. Yeah. Most people are not. And I think that it has given us way more time to
let things fester.
And also let things become a huge deal that aren't necessarily.
Okay. Do you think this is another element of this though? Agreed. Or things that are a huge deal, you you don't, you're never taught how to deal with. But
Sure.
going back to the village thing, I don't know how many people were in these villages back then, but likely they lived like one big family. And I think in a healthy family, my sisters and I are super close. My parents and I are super close. When there's conflict, I find it so much easier to let go of with my family because I know I'm safe with my family. I know they love me. And so it's very easy for me to be
Interesting.
like, we had conflict, I can move through it. Whereas it's
I
harder.
still belong here. I'm
I
not gonna
belong.
get
I'm a part of this
kicked out
family.
of the
I'm not
tribe.
going anywhere. This is safe. And I think that makes wounds far less wounding. Now, some people are not safe in their families, but I think like, my family is safe. And so I've always felt like conflict there doesn't traumatize me because I know that I'm safe. And so they probably had that to some extent too in these villages. Okay, moving on. I have not studied anthropology in about 15 years. So.
This is a question I had.
Go on.
Are there things, because we talked about everything we're doing wrong, are there any things in your life at this point in your process of maturing? I don't want to say the word journey. I'm going to avoid the word journey at all costs. So in your process of becoming who you are meant to be, is there anything that you do well that really helps you, practices that you can share of kind of like, okay, in my search for balance, we really haven't talked about balance very much, of like career, kids, dreams, marriage, all the things, faith. Like, are there any practices in your life that you are kind of non-negotiables for you now?
Like at this part of my journey?
At this part of your life and growing up, that you are like, yes, this is hugely important for my life. And I will continue doing this. And it's taken me a long time to learn it.
That was a lot of questions in one big, long question.
Basically, any things that you do well that you want to share.
That right now. Okay. I can't see it as I'm doing well yet. And I'm not being hard on myself. I think what I see it as, if I were a ship chugging fully in the wrong direction, or at least 3/4 in the wrong direction, the engine is maybe off and we're turning the rudder toward the right way. And I think what I mean by that is I am learning to, because for me, again, this is very individual. You and I handle our stresses and life stuff very differently. Mine is very tied to emotions and letting emotions and hurt drive the ship. And I feel like I'm learning, and this has been a process, but I have learned somewhat to say, okay, I'm feeling that. Is that true? Do I need to let that ruin my day? Can I let that go? I don't always answer correctly, but that is something I've seen where I'm like, everyone knows that's the right thing to do.
Right.
It's another thing to actually live that. And it has taken me many years to get to the place where I do think I'm starting to actually have that inside me, where it's my first instinct is not to just keep chugging in the wrong direction. I'm turning the boat toward the right direction, which is letting things go. And
I understand that conceptually, but like, what is, give me a imaginary example of that.
I can have super social hangovers, as you know. And what do they call it again?
Vulnerability hangover?
No. Where you have
anxiety?
But it's not a drinking
Not
thing.
actually hungover.
Just social anxiety. But I don't really have in the moment, I have no social anxiety. What I have done in my life the next morning, it's like, oh, I said that thing. Is that person thinking this? Did I say that wrong? It's very self-protective. And this also adds to my overload hugely because that just drains your energy. And then I don't have energy for the things that actually matter. Something I've started noticing myself over probably the past year is maybe the next day a thought comes into my head of, you said this. Not every time. There's been a couple times where I fully dive into my old ways, but I'll let it be like, is that really, like, if you did do that, it's okay. It's just kind of backing up from that part of me, that voice that wants to just die on the hill of you messed up. And usually it's made up in my head, right? Usually these aren't real things.
Yes. I can attest from the times I've processed it. I'm like, no.
It's almost as if I had no breathing room from that part of myself. It was right there. I've backed up and I can kind of say, I'm not going to let that, my friend Brooke once said this and it always stuck with me. She said, emotions and kids are the same. You don't put them in the trunk of the car. You don't put them in the driver's seat. That really stuck with me. The emotions are in the car seat. I'm going to talk them through what they're saying to me, but I'm not going to let them drive. So does that answer your question?
Totally.
And I also think embracing imperfection, which is very hard for me because I can be a big time perfectionist, not in the obvious ways, in some other more hidden ways. I can be super perfectionistic. And also, what was your word with the istic on the end? Intentionality. Okay, because I was like, is perfectionistic a word? We'll put it in the intentionality bucket.
Intentionality is totally a right word.
So then I'm a perfectionistic person.
Daniel is backing me up over here. I'm getting nods.
All right. Rachel's wrong. But I can be a big time perfectionist. And I think I'm learning that I have to embrace imperfection in order to live the life I want to live. Which means, hey, you got 3 priorities today. If it's kids, if it's shooting a podcast and it's XYZ, the house could be a mess and you got to let that go.
So you'd say that's kind of one of the practices too, is taking on less on your plate and it will help your sanity.
I think I have majored in the minors because I can control those things. Keep a clean house.
Clip that.
You know what I'm saying though? Because those things are often more tangible and easier to control. The things that are harder to control are, our kids' moods are going to fluctuate forever. Your mood is the thing, but my mood, I think it's easy to go into a lie of, are the kids having a good day? And I can't control that. So instead of prioritizing, I don't know what I'm saying, but basically the things I can control, I have made too important, and often they aren't important at all. A dress to wear to something, fill in the blank.
So what I hear you saying is this kind of like shifting your perspective on like what are the things that are actually truly important and what are the things that I can kind of let go. Am I hearing you right?
Yeah, I think that's huge. Wouldn't you agree that for what we're talking about, for balance and for stressing, and also this parenting lady I follow who I really like, she said, you can't control your kids' moods. You can only control your mood, and they are not in control of your mood. That has really helped me, where I'm like, even if they're having the worst day ever because they're 2 and 4 and they got big emotions, I can choose my mood and to remain calm. That has helped me.
Okay.
Answer the same question because I'm tired of hearing myself talk. My brain broke about 10 minutes ago.
So I guess the question was,
hey, let me give you a 10-minute question here.
Come on, hit me.
On the left turn of the journey to Bilbo Baggins' house.
Journey.
What do you think you're doing correct in your quest for the ring?
In my quest for the ring right now, man, how good would that be?
To go on a quest for the ring?
Well, just to have something that like perpetuates energy and long life.
This is one of Jake's coping mechanisms is, let me dream of this giant journey that takes everything else. Actually, it's you craving something that takes away the unimportant and only focuses the important.
I literally I literally have written on my laptop over there, on a piece of paper on my laptop. I didn't just whip out a Sharpie and start carving stuff.
Okay, but he would, dog.
I have a note on my laptop that says, "This is your Olympics." Because I remember when was the last Summer Olympics? 22? I don't know. 24 maybe. 24. And I remember talking to you and saying like, having this epiphany of saying like, if you were an Olympic athlete, how on earth for the 2-3 years leading up to the Olympics could you focus on anything else? Like, this is your one moment in the limelight. You have one shot at this. Why? Like, how could you not just eliminate anything from your life that was distracting you? And I felt God be like, do you hear yourself? Like, kid, you realize you're speaking to yourself. And I was like, whoa. And so right now I feel like I'm in this season of I'm in this moment in my life where so much the stakes feel high in my life, context, obviously, everything is relative. Stakes feel high. I feel like I'm in the season of becoming a man for the first time in my life. I feel like I'm in the season of not only becoming a man and the husband and the dad that I want to be, but also as an artist, in my work. I feel like I have been driven by so much external crap that I'm finally ready to let go of. And I feel like God is like, this is a season to be like relentlessly focused on what is important in your life and kind of what you're saying, let go of the things that aren't pivotal to the moment that you're in right now.
Which is, I think, also the takeaway for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah. And I think for me, this season, again, man, I keep saying the word season and journey.
season and journey burn at the
Just
stake if you even utter them.
Just sign me up for Hallmark. Like the point of this whole moment that I'm in right now is learning how to eliminate the almost important stuff.
Yeah, majoring in the minors.
Majoring in the minors. And for me right now, that actually has had to look like tangibly, like on a practical level, trying to say no to a lot of things, specifically like overdoing coffee hangs or overdoing. For me, I get super obsessed with things. Right now, I'm super obsessed with running. I'm very obsessed with it. And I'm having to daily tell myself, like, hey, don't, like, this is great that you have a new hobby and you're exercising and you're getting into running. This is not the point of your life right now. And you have to focus and you have to keep your eye on the things that actually matter, which are right now, God, my family, my work. That's all I can really, really give myself to, because those are three things that require a ton.
Yeah.
And if I'm not the social butterfly of the town right now, that has to be okay.
And it's also nice to know in other seasons you're gonna have in other times before I get murdered, you will have the margin for those things. And also those things are there. You just don't have to make them the priority of your day.
Yeah.
Friendship and community is always there, but
You gotta have it.
But I think we know that this is a really crucial moment because we're also in the midst of those three things you said, which are our priorities right now: God, family. Well, God is in all of that, right?
Right.
God,
Yes.
but
Yes.
I think what you mean when you say God is personal transformation, because we're in a time where we feel like all of our immaturities and crap. It's like it's time to deal with these
Yes,
things.
well, it's actually like devoting time to the things you actually care about, devoting time to spending time with God. For me, one of the practices that I've started doing in the last 6 months to a year is I shifted my schedule to I used to wake up early and go to the gym before you and the kids would wake up, and you actually helped me see that was a bit crazy because I had this golden hour in the morning of like 2 hours.
Your brain is on in those
Yeah,
hours.
and I'm at my best hours are in the morning, and so creatively. And so you were kind of like, hey, you're giving away your best hours to the gym, right? And I was like, you're right. What am I doing? I need to be working. So now I have shifted, and I wake up early, and the first thing I do is I spend time with God, and then I start working, and I start like really prioritizing the things that I actually care about first thing in the day. And then after the day's over, 4 or 4:30, we'll all go to the gym together.
You found your rhythm.
That really has really, really, really helped me. And it helps me kind of like calibrate my day so that I'm not, I'm not giving away so much time to what feels like the minors. And then I feel anxious about the fact that I'm not giving enough of myself to the majors because I'm like, oh, there's just not enough time in the day. And then you were like, the way you're managing your time is not getting you closer to what your goal is.
I think the other danger in that I really want to highlight, because I struggle with it too, is if we are all a glass of water and that's what we have to give to the day, if you're pouring out half your water into a placebo of purpose through, let me research running.
Come on, baby.
You're not going to have water to give to the things that actually matter. But the reason we go to those shortcut places is because we get.
Placebo of purpose is so good.
Well, it's a hit. It's an immediate hit.
Yeah.
The things that really matter: raising children, family, community, work. You don't get an immediate hit often. In fact, often, especially with raising kids or making anything creative, things can look terrible even after you've given all of yourself to those things for the day, and your kids are still freaking, or the music sucks, or the writing or whatever feels like this is terrible. And so that's not the hit. So we think, oh, let me just research this thing that I know can give me a hit of purpose. It's not the real purpose.
Because you can work at it, you can get better at it, but what is it?
And it also looks good. It's like, well, this is health.
Well, it's like
mine is health stuff can be my placebo of purpose, where it's not like you're doing something fully mindless. It's important, but you're giving too much of your cup of water to that, and then you don't have it for the rest because the rest isn't going to serve you in that way. The stuff that really matters does not give you that drug hit.
No.
It might one day, but it's not a drug. It's something so much deeper and more.
Yeah. Wow. That's really good. Because right now, like as you're saying that, I'm like, what is my placebo purpose right now? And
running and food, dude. I've got you checked out.
Right.
You're weighing your food. That's how much of that is
okay. It's because I'm trying to lose some weight. Right now.
There's a version of that isn't that.
I agree. Though. I agree. I'm obsessing.
Which
over
I
it.
get because I do the same thing.
No, but what I really want to drive home is like it is a parallel universe to what actually matters. It is a side quest to the real thing, and it gives me a much more immediate gratification of, ooh, I'm accomplishing something.
Yes.
Oh, I'm running. I ran my fastest 10K or whatever. Okay, great, good for you. What? No, but like I know the purpose that God has for me. I know the whole purpose of this season in my life is like these are precious moments where our kids are really young. Our marriage is always going to be getting better and better, but I feel like it's a real like step up moment right now for me. And then also as an artist, like this is kind of like I want to finally become who I'm meant to be. And so right now is probably not the time to be giving so much of my emotional energy to running and counting calories.
Okay, I think
that's a placebo.
Yes, it's a placebo. Two nuances that I think are important, particularly for how we're wired, which means probably most humans. What's going to help you with that is visually seeing that cup. And when you're getting into obsessive territory, it's like, okay, I can give a little bit of my cup of water for the day to this. Am I doing too much? That's going to help you because you have a finite amount of energy to give to everything in the day. So picture that cup. The second thing is, I think it's really important when the majority of your life is intangible quests, raising kids, creative work, maybe all work. Adding in minor tangible accomplishments is actually really important. And so don't delete these from your life, but don't give too much of them to your life.
Keep them where they belong.
Keep them where they belong is the thing. Because you need the hit of, I said I was going to do a 10-minute walk and I did a 10-minute walk. For you and for most people, that can turn into, and then I researched, I did 1,000 steps, which means I burned 100 calories. And now 2 hours later.
I'm taking a 4-day masterclass on YouTube of how to perfect your running form.
Right, because it's become
I
a
haven't
drug.
signed up for.
Okay, and we will be deleting that web invitation. Go.
I want to say this as well. Oh, what was it? Come on.
Oh,
I think
of it. I want it.
It was really good.
Oh, it was really good.
Yeah.
Bilbo's back.
You were talking about pouring out. Okay. So I think also it's gone.
Really?
It's gone. Yeah, I got nothing. Keep talking.
Does it make you feel well, I feel like it's wrap up time. I was gonna say that's the hit of the day. And then you forgot it, which my mom always says it's probably not that important anyway.
This is a good one, but
okay, pouring out. You only have a limited amount of energy. Don't keep the tangible tasks, but don't make them the main point because you can get it. You're starting to make them your.
Wow!
Yes. It worked. It worked.
So, I think what's really true for me, and probably for other people, is that I am avoiding the real purpose in my life. By obsessing over these side quests, over these little, way more immediate gratification, quick hits that feel like a placebo of purpose in it, because the real purpose is scary to me.
Yes.
Because it actually requires real vulnerability and digging into this album, coming into this room with no idea and sitting down and say, okay, God, what am I doing today? I have no idea what the next song is supposed to be. I have no idea how to make the song I have sound the way I want it to sound in my brain. And that's the real work. And so it's scary to me to walk into the black hole of that. And so I'll go, oh, wait, I can focus on running, and I can, push myself towards that. And that's tangible. I put in the time, I get the result. And that, to me, I'm seeing the huge check of like those little things you have to be really at war with in yourself. Hold them where they're supposed to be. Running's a good thing. It's great.
Yes.
Do it
and again, you need some tangible things.
And do it for the 45 minutes and then don't think about it again.
What is that? It's either a Bible verse or an old quote about the little foxes will steal the little foxes steal. That's what that can become. And again, It's not always, often it's positive things, but it's not the main point. You're making the green beans the chicken dinner, and we need to focus on the chicken dinner.
Well, another nice little quote is the mud pie quote,
Mud pie is my North Star right now. But before I say mud pie, I want to respond to one thing, and then mud pie will end it. Well, actually, mud pie goes perfectly, because what I was thinking is, if you make on the other side of that, you avoid that purpose because you're afraid if you don't come up with something great, you're failing at it, which means you're worthless. So you must say, my purpose is my purpose, but my worth has nothing to do with it. And then that's where we say, because we rest in God. God is our purpose.
Drop the mic,
God is our worth. And if you don't have that piece, then of course the purpose
literally feels
like the word. We should.
Throw it.
And then, yes. Okay. Holiday at Sea, which is perfect because there's the C.S. Lewis quote that is so
I'm not impactful
to us. I remember it. He said, we're like children playing with mud pies when we have the offer of a holiday at sea.
Yep.
And
we've become content with the mud pies.
Yeah. And in fact, we're choosing the mud pies over the holiday at sea. And so in the same way, it's just, it all goes hand in hand. But for us, it ends with finding that worth in God means you can go devote yourself to children who will not give you the hit, and to work that will not give you the hit, because that's where you're actually supposed to pour out those really important things. But it's not about getting something back. And where you get something back is God. Okay, we got to end. We love you guys.
Love y'all.
Hopefully all of that made sense, because I've gone off no sleep. Farewell.
You did great. Throw the mics.